Hey YouTube, what is going on? Got a new video for you here today, and it is a Pokemon Showdown battle versus a guy by the name of Q Season. So this is a very good battle, and I will just jump right into the team preview. So I do have my rain team. I swapped out Thunderous T for Mamoswine because certain dragon Pokemon were giving me a bit of trouble. So good switch. But anyways, looking at their team, definitely a Sandstorm team. Jirachi, typically specially defensive. That is what I am expecting it to be. Tyranitar, not really too sure what it could be. Could be defensive, could be choice band. I really don't know. But Landorus, either Scarfed, Rock Polish, probably Scarfed, maybe, I don't really know. But Keldeo, either E-Belted or Scarfed. Garchomp, either Scarfed or Swords Dance. So there are very many possibilities of a Scarf. So I'm not really too sure what is what on his team. And finally, there is his Rotom, which I'm fairly certain isn't Scarfed because of all the other possibilities of things being Scarfed. So let's just jump right into this battle. So I am going to lead off with my Landorus T, and I hate, let me pause this real quick. I hate the matchup of Landorus and Rotom because you never know what is going to happen. They may just go straight for the Hydro Pump, they might go for the Volt Switch, or in this case, they are defensive and they go for the Will-O-Wisp, so that is unfortunate that I do burn my Jirachi first turn, but it's not a huge deal, and they just go for the Volt Switch right after that. So, anyways, they are going to go into their Tyranitar, getting their Sanda, and I went for the Wish, so not a huge deal, and I feel I can stay in and go for the Iron Head, hoping to flinch the Tyranitar and get my Wish up, but he does go right back into his Rotom, and that Iron Head did nothing, especially after lefties. So at this point, I thought I could just stay in and hopefully outspeed and U-turn, but it actually benefits me that I don't outspeed, and I get off a U-turn on his Tyranitar, giving me the switch initiatives, which is great. So right now I'm just going to go into my Landorus Theory and know I can do pretty much whatever I want, barring the Ice Beam. So I do go for the Stealth Rock, and we just exchange rocks on this turn, so that is fine. And he is going to switch, predicting the Earthquake, and I felt that was extremely obvious, so I just went for the U-turn, you know, just in case he did stay in. That would have done a very decent chunk of damage. And at this point I go into Gothitelle, Shadow Tag, trap him, and I can pretty much go for the Psychic. But honestly, I didn't know if I would outspeed, and I probably should have looked up speeds, because then I could have gone for the trick, made my life 30,000 times easier, because this Jirachi is once again going to come on in here and take a hit, and I'm forced to switch because I'm locked into Psychic. So now I'm going to go into my Landorus, hoping to scare it out with the Earthquake, but he just ends up going for the Wish, and knowing that he is going to pass it to Rotom to avoid the possible Earthquake and get it back up to full, I am going to go for the Stone Edge rather than the Earthquake, and because Sandstorm hits before Wish, he will lose his Rotom, which is great for me, and he does not get a Wish. So now he is going to go into his Keldeo. Obviously, I do not want to take any type of water move, and I just go right into my Jirachi to take whatever it is, and I am specially defensive, but unfortunately he first goes for the Secret Sword, which kind of is terrible, and then he follows up with another Secret Sword, so he could easily be Scarfed, I really don't know, or E-Belted, so I really have no clue what this thing is, but I just go into Politoed. Turns out he goes for the Hydro Pump, so that is definitely Expert Belted, and yeah, so I went for the Scald, thinking he would switch out, hoping like Jirachi or something, but I do Protect, trying to see what else he wants to go for, and at this point he is going to go for it once again. He has no reason not to, and I'm just going to go for the Toxic so I can get a little bit of residual damage off on this thing, which will help me in the long run. So, and the Protect was extremely obvious, and yeah, I do go for it. So I probably should have gone for the double Toxic, or even just another Scald would have helped me out a lot more, but I do get a Toxic off on this Tyranitar, expecting him to Pursuit, and I obviously don't want to lose my Politoed, but at this point, I really can't do too much, and if I switch out, I'll almost die to rocks, and yeah, I pretty much can't do too much without losing Politoed, and I don't really have much of a need for the Rain, honestly. It's not going to benefit me that much overall, so yeah. So he is going to go for one more Pursuit, and then Sandstorm will take me out. So regardless, though, he is going to take a lot of damage from the Toxic, and at this point, once again, I can go into my Landorus T, go for the U-turn. Unfortunately, doesn't take it out, and I just have to go into something to take a pursuit or a crunch, and it turns out to be a crunch. So luckily I don't see Ice Beam, so I think Landorus is definitely going to be a good switch into Tyranitar. However, he dies, so nothing going to be happening with Tyranitar. So now he goes right into his Jirachi. Once again, most likely specially defensive. Judging by that damage, it pretty much is. So he goes for the Body Slam. I went for the Hydro Pump, which does a little over a third. And I go for another. Unfortunately, don't get a crit, which would take him out. And he's just going to go for the Wish. And I'm thinking, okay, I can take him out with another Hydro Pump. But he has the Protect, which isn't weird, but typically you see Wish, U-turn, Thunder / Body Slam, and Iron Head. So Protect's not really uncommon. It's just I see... I don't see it too often, but fortunately for me, I do get a critical hit on the next Hydro Pump, and I will lose Keldeo though, which is unfortunate. But I do go into Gothitelle, trapping him, and he goes for the Protect. So that Thunderbolt would have knocked him out from that range, but because he goes for the Protect, gets his leftovers, you'll see that by the calc on the screen, that allows him to live it. No matter what the circumstance was, he would have lived it. Barring me maybe being modest, you'll see another calc on the screen for that. But anyways, I do go into my Landers. I know that I can threaten him with anything that I want, any kind of move. Pretty much Earthquake or U-turn. I did go for the U-turn. Unfortunately, got paralyzed and para-haxed. And here he tries para-flinching me to death, but very, very fortunately for me, that does not happen, and I get the U-turn off, taking out his Jirachi. So, in comes Mamoswine, and honestly, I think I do have a chance to win, because he goes into his Keldeo, and I'm expecting a Water move, and I want to sack my Landorus, so attempting to do that. He does go for the Secret Sword, not wanting to miss Hydro Pump. He did say that in the chat, which is fortunate for me, because that does allow me to get a bit more residual damage off on this Keldeo. So Sandstorm damage and Toxic damage will bring him into the red, and I go right back into Mamoswine, unfortunately the last thing I have, but a Life Orb Adamant Ice Shard will take out the Keldeo from that small chunk of health, and it really looks like I can win this. Unfortunately, he did tell me in the chat that this thing has Yashi Berry. Now, had I gotten a crit, definitely would have been my game, but that is not the case. You can't win them all, but he does take me out with the Outrage, so... Anyways, that was the video. Very good match, Q Seasons. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Once again, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all later.